You watching right now. Did you know you're programmed for failure and you don't even realize it yet? Let me explain why in one single word. Habits. Habits are everywhere in everything. Sleep at a certain time? That's a habit. Make sure you get a hot, steamy Taco Bell beef burrito on a Tuesday night after a customer service house shift at work? That's a habit too. At the end of the day, your brain's goal is simple: save energy. It's always looking for shortcuts. And if you give it enough signals that an action feels rewarding, your brain says, let's hold on to that routine and give it a label known as a habit. Let me break this down even further. This right here, it's your brain. We all know it, we see it a million times a day, and by knowing it, it somehow knows itself. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that doesn't make any sense at all. Anyways, this thing right here, this area of the brain is called the basal ganglia, also known as the autopilot center or the B gang for short. And this area right here in the basal ganglia region is the striatum, a pattern recognition center, but I'm going to call it the stum. Let's say you're trying to form a new habit. Some obstacle or disturbance is your prefrontal cortex, PFC, or thinking brain in general terms. You think about doing something to fix that cue, you take the action, and anticipation of it working, dopamine drops harder on your brain than my self-confidence after one quick look in the mirror. God damn, why am I so ugly? And just like that, brain keeps that action in mind because the dopamine guides the stum to create a neurochemical note, aka strengthening the synapse. Eventually, you do that enough times and the neural link becomes stronger, creating a much better route for the B gang to take over. Look, your B gang is just a bunch of nuclei clumped together for the direct purpose in habit formation of turning thought out actions into non-thought out actions, making a behavior more automatic, taking the PFC out of the equation, taking the mental energy load of life, and making it easier to manage. And just like that, you gave birth to a new goddamn habit. Also, on a side note, it does not take 21 days to form a new habit. Recent studies have shown it takes like 60 to 66 on average. It is not a generalized number. Don't give yourself false hope. Just keep doing it. You don't even notice when you form a habit because it's kind of the point. So now, why am I a failure? Why did I need that neurology lesson? Why am I even here? What's the meaning of life? I can go forever for these questions. The point is, let's take a real life world example and show you how it works. So you come home from work after a devious customer service shift. You're being told no in like 7 different accents, and you're frustrated and stressed out of your mind. Coming home to try doing something new is the last thing your mind wants. And guess what requires minimum effort but gives you a huge dopamine release? Doom scrolling. Minimum effort, maximum satisfaction. And just like that, I got my cue, my action, and the signal to tell my stum to keep a note for that. So your B gang is in process of being the main focus here. But just as I said, it takes like 60 days of consistent work. You're telling me it's difficult for you to sit in a room and look at your phone for 60 days straight? Yeah, let's be real. That's light work. Now in 3 easy steps, you got what's labeled a bad habit. Remember, your brain doesn't know good or bad. It just does what it does, and now you gotta deal with the problems. Every little routine is being automated by a clump of stuff in the middle of your brain, handing out bad habits like razor-bladed candy to your relatives' kids. And trying to create a better habit is just going to be an uphill battle. Look, there are a lot of videos on here that can take you to the moon and back, fixing bad habits and giving out better ones. But I think having a slightly more in-depth awareness of how your brain screws itself over is a lot more cool and fun way of looking at it. At the center of your automated routines is a programming that rewards quicker rewards and actions and behaviors that are predicted and repeated. So grabbing that cookie is easier than grabbing that apple. It's because your brain just knows you're a fat ass constantly grabbing that cookie. And it said, I don't need to think about that action anymore. I got it. Or I should say, the B gang got it. So are you programmed for failure? Yeah, pretty much. But there is one small blessing. At the end of the day, you are the programmer. You call the shots. And with this new given knowledge, you should be able to rework your brain circuits for the better. Or not. That's also a habit. Okay, bye.